Just 4 months after his successful revolution, Cuban leader Fidel Castro makes a highly publicized trip to the nation that will soon become his greatest adversary. On April 15, 1959, Cuban leader Fidel Castro visits the United States. On January 1, 1959, Fidel Castro's forces overthrow dictator Fulgencio Batista. U.S. officials are deeply concerned about the new Cuban regime's anti-American rhetoric and Castro's stated plans to nationalize foreign properties in Cuba. American media, however, is captivated by the charismatic leader, who has not yet declared himself a communist. Castro even appears on CBS's popular entertainment TV program, The Ed Sullivan Show, just 10 days after seizing power. 4 months later, Castro visits the U.S. on an invitation from the American Society of Newspaper Editors. U.S. President Dwight Eisenhower makes it clear that he will not meet with the Cuban leader. However, Vice President Richard Nixon does arrange a meeting. That Nixon-Castro meeting sparks curiosity and controversy among the American public. Coming up, we'll learn more about this Nixon-Castro meeting and also learn some of the other things Castro does during his visit. Don't forget to check out Today in History in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. There's a link in the description. Some see Nixon's meeting with Castro as an opportunity for diplomacy and a chance to bridge the growing divide between the two countries. Others, however, view it as a threat to American values and security. Nixon hopes to push Castro, quote, in the right direction, end quote. In other words, he hopes to move Castro away from radical leftist policies. But after the meeting, Nixon concludes that Castro, quote, is incredibly naive about communism, end quote, and he doubts that Castro can be swayed. Castro's visit lasts 11 days. Wherever he goes, he wears his trademark green army fatigues and black combat boots. In addition to meeting with Nixon, Castro places a wreath on George Washington's grave at Mount Vernon, he tours the Bronx Zoo, and he even eats a hot dog at Yankee Stadium. Castro also speaks in New York City to the Council on Foreign Relations, a group of private citizens and former government officials who are interested in foreign affairs. Castro is quite confrontational during his speech and even becomes angry with some of the questions from the audience. He ends up storming out of the event. Relations between the U.S. and Cuba deteriorate rapidly. Castro again journeys to New York City 17 months later in September 1960 to address the United Nations. This visit has a distinctively different vibe compared to the 1959 visit. A month before this UN speech, Castro had nationalized American oil refineries in Cuba, which is his first step in seizing U.S.-owned property. The U.S. responded with a trade embargo, which has been expanded multiple times and is still in effect today. Earlier in 1960, in fact, Eisenhower had given the CIA permission to begin planning to overthrow Castro's regime in what will eventually become the failed 1961 Bay of Pigs invasion, one of the major events of the Cold War. Well, I'd love to hear from you. What surprised you most about Castro's 1959 visit to the U.S.? Let me know in the comments. Also, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. And know that you can see another great Mr. Lewis video here and another one right here. Thanks for watching.